Hey everybody, and welcome to Project Premium Harvest. My name is Matt. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the RoundHill weekly payers for the third week of December. I'm going to talk about my portfolio, definitely taking a beating because of this, interest rate cut that the Feds are doing. Talk about the portfolio, some of the changes I have made. We're going to talk about how much I'm getting paid this week from these RoundHill ETFs, and then we're going to look at some graphs and then wrap it up. But yeah, let's get started. As you guys can tell, my account is at $91,000. It definitely has taken a $10,000 beating in the last 24 hours, but I'm not necessarily too worried about it. I was heavily invested in nvdy, but I did have a stop loss at $23 a share, so I basically cut my losses with nvdy, sold out of the fund completely. Yeah, sold out of the fund completely, but then I saw nvdy go down to about $22.39 and it reached some resistance or some stability. So I decided to jump back in with only 1,500 shares. But with that $150,000 that freed up selling all of that nvdy shares, I did end up buying $30,000 more of rdte, $30,000 more of xdte. I'm currently in the process of buying about 300 more amzp shares. And then I put about $10,000 more into ymax. And lastly, for ulty, I bought another 1,000 shares of ulty at about $9.15. So definitely made some strategic moves now that I had some money freed up, put in a couple different places. So what I plan on doing with the ulti is just a quick, bought at $9.15. It's already up to $9.19. So I'm already up, 5 cents a share. So that's kind of cool. So what was that, like 50 bucks? But I plan on doing like a quick, hit and run. Gonna sell once it appreciates about 50 cents, or I might be thinking I might hold on to it until the Group C funds, which is when ulti pays out. So kind of, depending on the situation, kind of run with that. When it comes to the ymax, I'm going long with ymax. I'm pretty much just going to stick with it and not really sell out unless I see a better opportunity somewhere else and ymax is at a gain, but we'll see. And then xdte and rdte, those are my long-term holding forever, as long as they continue to produce and don't necessarily navarone too much. So that's kind of thought process with my account right now. Those are the major moves. And then to make up the income from selling out of my nvdy, because usually nvdy brings me about $7,000, I'm going to be more aggressive at trying to buy an X dividends and selling on the next declaration date for these funds. And I'm trying to handpick a couple of good ones out there so that I, don't have the NAV erode and hold on to it for a distribution. I'll just sell out. So I never experienced NAV erosion. That only works in theory if the funds keep going up. If they go down, potentially lose money. So that is the one risk factor. But that's kind of what my thought process is, buy on X dividend dates, sell on declaration dates, and then continue this ball moving forward and pick, good stocks. But let's talk about the distributions. They're massive this week. So for xdte, the distribution was 64 cents, which was, I think, the biggest I've ever seen it. The qdte was about 86 cents, almost 87 cents. And then rdte was actually on the lower end this week. It was only at 26 cents. Usually it hovers around like the 34, 37 cents average per week. But yeah, those are the distributions. So now let's talk about the funds themselves. Also wanted to call out that I have 2 open calls for the SPY at 585. I'm anticipating that the market is going to go back up to that $600 per share marker. So wanted to bag some calls in the morning, and then I made these leaps 2 years out. So even if it doesn't hit, the $600 within the next month, I have 2 years for it to get there. So yeah, buying them tomorrow morning, long-term, relatively low risk. I definitely think it's going to hit $600 a share. But if we hit a huge bear market, well, all of us are going to suffer, not just these 2 little calls. But let's now go to xdte. So in the last day, you can definitely see that we're down, $1.52 a share. I definitely miss it being at $53 already. But if you look at the year, overall, not too bad with that massive dip and that correction in the market. We're only down 13 cents in the year, right? While this was paying out about an average of 24 cents a week, right? And that's, I think, like 84 cents a month, which is a pretty high distribution payment, right? qdte, don't necessarily have the average weekly statistics here, but over last week, you know, definitely took a 40-cent beating. Over the year, it's down 7%. Distributions have been pretty good, usually higher than xdte, but for me, I'm not really a big fan of the NAV erosion for my core foundational holdings, the funds that I wanted to hold on for a while. That's kind of my thought process with the qdte. Would I invest in it? Not right now. I'm usually more favored towards xdte or rdte. And speaking of rdte, so that $30,000 buy I had for rdte, I think, when did I buy? $41.85. I'm already up $3 a share. Look at that. You know, cashing out, baby. Nah, all jokes aside, last week down about $2, almost $2.30 a share. Over the last year, it's down 31 cents. Nobody really bought at this point. So if you look at the average, it probably, I think a good average point for rdte would be like $43.53. I got in at 41, so I definitely got in at a really good price. And if you average it out, you know, 43, 45. So it's kind of, that's right on par where I would like my price point to be. But yeah, would I invest in this? 100%. Doesn't look, the year graph doesn't look good right now because of the little downward trend in the market, but it will go back up. All right, since the last video, I decided to come up with a better graph that more accurately tracks the core foundational holding. So I have two different graphs here. The CFH is core foundational holding. And if you guys aren't familiar with my work, core foundational holding is something, there's a fund that doesn't change in net asset value too much, or you can think of NAV as a share price. So relatively a stable share price, and then it has some sort of distribution attached with it, right? So since I started adding a little bit more margin towards my core foundational holdings, last week I got a distribution of $408. This week is going to be $609.83. So this includes my rdte, xdte, and ymax, and then I will break out each individual fund in a second here. And so the $609 is actually pretty low. Yes, xdte did have a big 60+ cent distribution, but I put in about $60,000 more that this $609 has not incorporated in the distribution because I didn't think I bought it in time for the record date. And then the next graph I have here is a CFH weekly account total. So what this basically means is I want to track to see if the reinvestments I'm making into these funds are growing over time. So if they're going down, that's a problem. We need to make a correction and either cut the fat or, you know, figure out a better move. All right. So from that $138,000, the account value is at $58,820. And the premium I made off of xdte with its massive 60+ cent distribution is $359.57. Moving on to rdte, the weekly value is $57,391. And then the premium payment is $175.89. It's a little bit down this week because the rdte distribution was about 20-something cents. In the previous weeks, and the average for rdte is usually like 34 cents, 37 cents. So definitely a little lower than expected, but it is what it is. Nothing to cry over. Yeah, guys, that was a quick down and dirty. Yeah, guys. So this wraps up the video. Just wanted to talk about my RoundHill weekly distribution, how much I'm making, how I'm tracking it. And then I do plan on making a video at the end of this week, maybe sometime Saturday or Sunday. I'm talking about if the different purchases I made are working, is the market recovering, is it continuing to go down, and the different types of strategic moves that we need to make because of the market conditions. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate the likes, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of my more margin into my core foundational holdings. Good idea, bad idea, who knows? But yeah, guys, enjoy your journey out there. Hope you have fun out there. Let me know what you think. Love you. Peace. Bye.